Hello guys, in this video I'm going to take a look at some of the 3D printed parts I've made in an attempt to improve I suppose to actually finalise the track driving system for this PC400 here. So first I suppose we'll take a look at what I already had. So this is the first piece that I had here, and you can see it wasn't even printed particularly well. It had a very thin wall here between the filler material, so I had that pushed in there. That fit alright, but there was nothing really holding the motor in place, so it would, it can move around inside that, and there's a lot of flex there, so that didn't really work. It's not a great design, that. Then if we take a look at the wheel that I had that was supposed to drive the tracks themselves, they have these little teeth, so you can see them, they fit into the wheel. At least that's the way I designed it. The model itself didn't have a gear that came with it, so I had to kind of make my own. But I made the little the piece that actually catches those teeth on the tracks. I made that quite wide, I suppose. So if you look at, we have our track here, and at the top the teeth up there are just beginning to not fit very well, so as you rotate it, it starts to come out of the gear altogether, so that doesn't really work. So all I did to fix that was make the ends much narrower on the new gear. I ran out of red material as well, so I switched to a black. That's the reason behind that. But now if you look at the gear, it doesn't catch anymore, so at least we fixed that part. I'm having a lot of difficulty getting the D shape from the output shaft of the motor into the center of the wheel itself, so I have I've made a good few attempts at this, probably like 8 or 9, and I've ones that are a little bit bigger. That's the ones that I have on here, so there's a little bit of play. Don't know if you can see that in the camera, but the wheel can actually spin there a little bit, and that's the best I had. Seems the closer I get to the right size, the plastic seems to shrink. Even with the little cooling fan blowing on the plastic, it still seems to shrink down a little bit too much. So that's the new wheel, how we improved that. We also improved this little piece here, that the replacement for this red thing had here. So we kept the same shape for this piece that goes into the track itself, but I made the whole motor an enclosure and a piece here that's going to stop the motor coming through this way. So if the tracks are pulling on the motor, it's not going to pull it out. I also added a kind of a lip to the gear there that fits into this piece, so it fits inside there into the opening here where the output shaft is going to come from the gear. That fits in place there. So now we can push our motor through there, and if we line up our gear, all fits together nicely there. Push it in, and although it's a little bit loose, it's a good bit more stable than it was, and because it's a solid piece at the back here, I can drill a hole down through the top of this aluminium piece and just put a bolt in to keep it from moving around. I think that'd be pretty straightforward. So to put the track on, then just line it up on the back. The front here, we get our gear, and if I can find the key on the gear, there we have it in place, and the track just slides in. And if you notice, it's held on the bottom here in its own little guide rail, so that kind of helps the gear to not come off the motor as well, even though the gear is quite loose on that D shaft, because like I said, the D pattern was getting, well, I was having difficulty getting it to print properly. So I have this kind of powered up here. I can show you it working, although it's not working great. because the track is loose on one side anyway, the gear tends to move off the track, so that's not ideal. So now I just picked two motors at random that I had in the box here, and one of them was really fast, and because it was the driver for the boom raising and lowering, I don't seem to have any control over speed for some reason. I thought I did when I was raising and lowering the boom, but the motor just takes off at 100 miles an hour. You can see it slipping there. So that's because that track there is much looser than on the other side. So maybe I'm going to have to add a kind of a tensioning tensioning component to this idler wheel here, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. I think it would be easier to add it to the back side rather than to be trying to modify this front motor mount part to also move. But the other motor though seems to work alright. Battery's a little flat now, but that track there is slightly more, or has slightly more tension than the other, and it just means that it's working much better. And I do have speed control on this side, so I can slow it down and speed it up. So that's all I wanted to show you in this video, a small update. I'm not sure how I'm going to progress with it now, but I'm quite happy with the bit that holds the motor. I'll probably continue to try and get the D shape into the gear itself perfected, but I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that at the minute. And then I guess we're going to have to remove this pin and add something in here that will allow us to tighten this gear to move it forward and backwards. That's another thing I'll have to have a look at another day, but it looks like there's a cavity in there that I could maybe 3D print a kind of a U-shaped mounting point that I can then control. Maybe we'll kind of have to take a look at it in the future and see how we get on. So if you liked that video, make sure and hit the thumbs up, and if you have any comments or any suggestions on how I can improve my design, let me know, especially if you have any idea how we could improve the accuracy, I suppose, of the print of the internal D section on that gear there. Let me know. And I think that's pretty much everything, so thanks very much for watching.